Get our Bible drill. I want you to remember this. The first 11 chapters of Genesis give a survey of creation, the fall, the flood, and the spread of the nations. In chapter 12, God singles out a man through whom he will bless all nations, Abraham. The remainder of Genesis traces the story of Abraham and his descendants, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Who's this and what's going on here?
Who's the guy? Moses.
Oh, it's Leah.
Is it Leah?
No, it's Rebecca.
No.
I was
Yeah.
mixed up in their names. And Abraham's servant.
Okay, so Abraham needed a son, needed a wife for Isaac. Remember the story?
Yeah.
He said, don't get one from the Canaanites. Remember who the Canaanites are? From Cain.
Right.
Okay. Go to my people, sent the servant, and long story short, here comes
What's his name?
Isaac and Rebecca. Okay, here's Rebecca. Rebecca comes. They marry. So now the lineage is going on. It is happening. And we're going to start here. Most of the day was review, but these two people, Isaac and Ishmael. Who's Isaac again?
The three. The firstborn of Abraham.
Abraham's son, born of Sarah. Who is Ishmael?
Abraham's son born of Hagar.
Abraham's son, born of Hagar. Both sons of Abraham.
So the stepbrother.
Stepbrothers, yeah. Yep. So we're going to pick up there real quick.
Same father. Yeah.
By that lineage thing, they're equal.
No, they're not equal. Son of. But the son of Abraham, they're not equal. The promise thing, not equal.
Okay, where am I here?
No, there's nothing right there.
On the day you're born there.
Okay, so we're going to be in chapter, we'll just go to 25. Chapter 25. Abraham dies.
Genesis 25.
Isaac is married, Rebecca. The lineage continues. Abraham dies. And then we see some of the descendants of Ishmael. Isaac and Ishmael throughout time in history, and we talked about this, are the Jewish lineage and the Islamic or Arabs. Okay? Jews and Arabs do not get along, do they? They never have, they never will until Jesus comes back because of this problem. Ishmael is Arab. Isaac is Jewish. Because of that bad choice, this is the problem that happens even today. That's why there's not peace in the Middle East, because of this problem.
Did they know that Hagar was there?
Did they, who's they?
Sarah and Moses?
No. What,
Abraham.
I don't know if we would consider her Arab back then, but she was from a different lineage.
She wasn't Jewish.
She wasn't Jewish. She was a maidservant. So with that picture, okay, Isaac and Ishmael, we know they didn't get along, we had a problem. We come up to, let's do this first. We're going to talk a little bit about these two. Esau and Jacob are sons of guess who? Isaac. Isaac and Rebekah. They have two sons. And let's start at chapter 25, verse 19. Now these are the records of the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Paduraham, the sister of Laban, the Aramean, to be his wife. And Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord answered him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Again, here's God doing another miracle of conception. But the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it is so, why then am I this way? So she went to inquire of the Lord. So we got the picture?
Okay.
Two babies, and it's like, oh, she's this pregnancy. It's like, what is going on in here? And the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples shall be separated from your body. And one people shall be stronger than the other. The older shall serve the younger. Now that's a big thing, because in this culture, what was important? Lineage was always important, and the older son was always the one who was going to get the farm, basically. He's the one that was going to get everything. But for God to say, wait a minute, the older's going to serve the younger, that's opposite of what was usual. When her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. How exciting! Now the first came forth red, all over like a hairy garment. And they named him Esau. And afterward his brother came forth with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she gave birth to them. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field. But Jacob was a peaceful man, living in tents. Now Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And when Jacob had cooked stew, Esau came in from the field, and he was famished. And Esau said to Jacob, please let me have a swallow of that red stuff there, for I am famished. Therefore his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, first sell me your birthright.
Wow.
What did he just ask him to do?
Is Edom, that's a different name for Esau?
Those are the descendants of Esau, the Edomites. So, what did he just ask? Brian, what did he just ask?
Sorry, what chapter is it?
This is chapter 25. Chapter 25. And we're now at verse
31.
Yeah, 31. What did Jacob ask Esau to do? He says, sure, you're going to have some soup, but first, sell me your birthright. What did he just ask him to do?
Let me have your double portion as the oldest guy.
To get rid of
Let me have your double portion? What? Let's make it simpler. What did he just ask him to do?
Let me have your.
Say that again?
His inheritance.
His inheritance. Because who's the older son gets the farm, right?
Correct.
He says, hey, you want to buy my stew? Give me the farm. Think about that.
That's real brotherly love.
Ah, it's not.
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But
Steve, you're just causing problems. So, not very brotherly love, kind of tricky, huh? Kind of sneaky.
That was the word.
Okay? First, sell me your birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am about to die. Was he about to die? No.
He was hungry. He was just hungry.
So, what use then is the birthright to me? How? Do you see how Esau looked at his birthright as valuable? Wasn't that valuable to him? It was kind of like, yes, I'm the first. I'm going to get what I get. I get the farm. No big deal. And Jacob said, first swear to me. So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went on his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. In other words, who cares? Okay? Go a little bit farther. Oh, Franco?
Well, he got his birthright, but he gave it up anyway, didn't he, at this point?
Did Esau give up his birthright?
Yeah.
Well, he swore to his brother that his brother could have it.
So that was his right to have the birthrights to Jacob, because he swore he was giving it up.
He he gave up his birthright to his brother.
Correct.
Now,
when he
did his father give up the birthright to his son? No, because it wasn't the brother's, and here's the key, it's not the brother's choice, it's not a person's choice to give up their birthright. And we're going to see that in the story that happens. Okay? So, Esau is basically saying, yeah, you can have it. Why? Because he knows he's got it. That's why the Bible says that he despised his birthright. He didn't think much value of it. Because it was just something that he knew he had because of his age. He was the firstborn.
Right.
And he could always deny it later.
Yeah, because being the firstborn, you're going to get the birthright. It doesn't matter what you say, to your brother. I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
Because it's tradition. That's the way that it's
Well, tradition,
right. That it goes.
I'll do anything for that, that's all
Is
too.
that why I wasn't named after my father, my older brother was?
I have no idea, Brian, but it could be.
Something like that.
Okay. Okay, so there's some things that happen, and we're going to just real quickly skip to chapter 27. Came about when Isaac was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called his older son Esau and said to him, "My son." And he said to him, "Here I am." And Isaac said, "Behold, now I am old, and I do not know the days of my death. Now then, please take your gear, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare a savory dish for me, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, so that my soul may bless you before I die." So, Abraham's saying what? What's going to happen? He's going to die, so what's he going to do to Esau? He's going to bless him, give him that birthright, etc. And Esau knows, he already told it, but he goes, that didn't matter. I was just hungry. I just did that to get some food. So, he's going to go out and prepare a nice meal for Isaac. Rebekah was listening while Isaac spoke to her son Esau. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game to bring home, Rebekah said to her son, Jacob, come here. Behold, I heard your father speak to your brother Esau, saying, bring some game and prepare a savory dish for me that I may eat and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now remember, my son, listen to me as I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me 2 choice kids from there, and I may prepare them a savory dish for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall bring it to your father, that he may eat, so that he may bless you before his death. Let's ask ourselves a question. What's going on with mom here?
Mama does. She's being sinister.
Sneaky. She's sneaky. See, Jacob wasn't even thinking about doing this. But Rebekah says, Jacob, we're going to do this, because you're my favorite.
But the Lord spoke to her too, so she's kind of like,
The Lord spoke to her where?
I thought you said that earlier, that the Lord said that the oldest will be served by the youngest.
Okay.
So the Lord spoke to her, told her this when she was pregnant, so she knew that this prophecy had to be fulfilled, so she's helping it along the way.
It's always good to be helping God along the way, huh?
Am I looking at it wrong?
Well, you're just looking at it from a human perspective, which is fine. I mean, that's a good thing to do, is to go, well, hey, she's not doing anything wrong here.
Oh,
She's just doing what God told her was going to happen. Okay?
There's something else interesting that Esau went out to try to find some wild game, and Rebekah goes, "Hey, just go to the flock and pick one."
And I'll cook it for you like your dad liked.
Yeah. So we're going to finish this real quick, and then we're going to have to call it a day. Jacob answered his mother Rebekah, "Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man. Perhaps my father will fill me, then I shall be a deceiver in his sight, and I shall bring upon myself a curse and not a blessing." But his mother said to him, "Your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food such as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her elder son, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. She put the skins of the kids on his hands and the smooth part on his neck, and she gave the savory food and the bread which he had made to her son Jacob. Then he came to his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. Now, can you imagine that? Trying to sound like Esau? I mean, here you are, a mama's boy. You're going to kid you on and laugh, and he's and now you want to sound like a hunter, you know? So you're like, it's me, Esau, your son, you know? Trying to disguise his voice, and his dad's going, come on, what's going on here? Because his dad already knows something's not right. Okay? I'm Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Get up, please, sit and eat of the game, and you may bless me. And Isaac said to his son, how is it that you have it so quickly, my son? He already knows something's up. He said, because the Lord your God caused it to happen to me. Then Isaac said to Jacob, please come close, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob came close to Isaac, his father, and felt him and said, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother's Esau's hands. Here's the bad part. So he blessed him.
And he liked his father.
He lied to his father. He didn't more than lie to his father. He lied and cheated and you know? He blessed him. Okay. And he said, are you really my son Esau? And he said, I am. So he said, bring it to me, and I will eat of my son's game that I may bless you. And he brought it to him, and he ate, and he also brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, please come close and kiss me, my son. So he came close and kissed him. And when he smelled the smell of his garments, he blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field, which the Lord has blessed. Now may God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and the abundance of grain and new wine. May people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be master of your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be those who curse you, and blessed be those who bless you. Now it came about as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had hardly gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Then he also made savory food and brought it to his father, and he said to his father, let my father arise and eat of my son's game, that you may bless me. And Isaac his father said to him, who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Then Isaac trembled violently and said, who was he then that hunted came and brought it to me so that I ate of it before you came and blessed him? Yes, and he shall be blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry and said to his father, bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, your brother came deceitfully and has taken away your blessing. Ooh.
Kill your brother and everything be right.
So you can see how the problems are going to happen with these two, huh? But again, we have to go back and go, you know what? God is sovereign. All this sneakiness, deception, God used. Even though we go, I don't like this. Sneaky woman, sneaky son, deception, plan. I don't like this at all. But yet, in God's sovereignty, isn't it amazing how many things happen in life that we don't like at all? And God uses to honor and glorify Him. Woo! I'm so glad that the Bible just isn't always about, oh, everybody is all good, and they always do good things, and they help each other, and they love each other, and they just sweetly walk along life because that... No. We see ugliness, sinfulness, deception, and yet in the midst of that, God shows His mercy and grace, and His sovereign plan is not hindered in anything that goes on, is it? Woo! So thankful that's who we serve. And it's so important as Christ followers that we remember that we serve God and honor Him and obey Him no matter what circumstances are going on in our lives. We may look at the world around us and go, God, what is going on around us? Can you believe what's going on in our nation, in our country, with our nation? And we go, hey, but we're going to still obey you. No matter what happens, we're going to obey you. We're just going to obey. We're going to stand on the word. If they say you can't say that, we're going to say, yes, we can, because we're going to obey the word. If they say you can't go there, we go, no, we're going to go there because we're going to obey the word. Why? Because it doesn't matter. God is in control and we're going to obey him. If Abraham could obey him to sacrifice his son, phew, we can obey him to follow him and do what he wants in the world that we live in. Father, thank you for our morning. Fun to be in the Old Testament. It's fun to listen and see and hear all that you've taught us. It's amazing to see some of the faith that people have, because we go, man, we have so much more wisdom and time, and we have the whole Bible, and yet sometimes our faith is like not even close to being what their faith is. So continue to keep us strong in you, the strength of your might. Let our roots go down deep so that we can be men and women who live and breathe and talk for you in the world that we live in. We love you. We praise in the powerful name of Jesus, our Savior. All God's people said? Amen. Amen. Good class this morning, everybody.
Awesome.
Good job.
That was fun.